Okay, this is Mike Soares'y of Soares'y tenor guitars. We have an older video showing how to make a tenor guitar bridge. This could also be used as a mandocello bridge, octave mandolin, 4-string, 8-string instruments that basically have a 1.5 inch end on your fingerboard. These can also be adjusted for different widths, but your basic is about a 12mm spacing on your saddles. What we do here is we buy our parts separate in big lots from different makers. We start with our bass, which is a low bass and a little shorter than a standard bass. Okay, and this is what we use on our archtop guitars. Okay, we have these made in lots of 24. I don't know if you can buy them that size, but just to give you an example, this is the bass we use, and this is a standard guitar bass that you get on a lot of these tunematic bridges. And you also have something like this. They do make lower ones that fit flush, that will work for a tenor guitar, but they're wide. They don't have a good look, so we don't use these here. Sometimes we buy them for the parts, but if you have an extra high, if you need an extra high bridge on a tenor, you might want to go at one of these with the feet. But basically, this is what we use. We use the low bridge here, and just to show you, we made this little jig here. This goes on our drill press, and this has your hole spacing for your bridge. We take our bass blank and we clamp it to this here, and this allows us to go on the drill bit and hold it flush, so we get a nice square hole on here. We use one side, and then we do the other side, and we move the jig over, and that gives us our proper spacing on our bases here. And this, we use these guitar adjusters. Now they make different ones. They have this type here. A lot of the tunematics for a solid body guitar come with these adjusters, where this part goes into the solid body and allows you to adjust the bridge up and down. It's only threaded on one side. This side is smooth. This was absolutely of no use to us. Another thing that they have is they have some of these older style tunematics that have a larger hole. The newer tunematics are, well, they still have the larger hole, but the ones we use have the smaller hole to match the regular adjuster. They have these here that have these sleeves, and the sleeves are made to go onto the threaded adjuster, and this lets you use the older style or the larger style tunematic, and so you fit your hole. The thing is, you wind up with a lot more going on here, more parts. So less parts, the less trouble you're going to have, the less rattling you're going to have. So again, we don't use those. Okay, and this is we use the new Nashville tunematics as opposed to the older style. This is an 8-string older one. This has the spring bar going across that holds the screws in, and you will get a lot of movement with this here. Once it's set up and the strings are on at the tension, you need to get in there with a little screwdriver and just push your saddles around, make sure everything is seated properly, otherwise you can get a buzz off of this type of bridge. So we like the newer style, the Nashville. This is a 6-string. What we do is we take our 6 strings and we convert them into a 4. Now this is our bass, and we've gone ahead and drilled this on the drill press. The hole on here is a little smaller than the threaded post, and I think it's a 2mm Allen wrench that you use on these posts, and we made this little handle here a little easier to thread your posts in, and we hold our finger tight on the other side of the hole just until we feel the metal post hit our skin, and then we know it's in far enough. And then we just grab another post. Okay. And again, we buy these parts separate. You can buy some of these bridges that have most of the parts except for the base. You can find the Tune-o-matic bridges that have the larger base, that have your post and your adjusters and your Tune-o-matic top. You can pay about $30, $35 for a nice quality one. But we buy in bulk, and we buy our parts as we need them. So we buy the posts and the adjusters in lots of 24. We buy our bases in lots of 24. And that's your basic base, which is again smaller than your standard guitar bass, and that fits your Tune-o-matic bridge. So then what we do is we remove the number 1 and number 6 saddle. Now there's 3 different kinds that we have come across in the past year or two, since they started making the Nashville at a decent price, where you could buy them. They used to be like $65, $80. Now they're down to $30, $35. But you have some that have a spring in here, which hold the saddles, which is the one I prefer. Then you have ones that have these little metal clips underneath. And what we do with that is we go down here and we grab the metal clip and we twist it out with the needle nose plier, and we remove the number 1 and the number 6 saddle. So now we've converted this into a 4-string. They're already notched, and it's a nice lower profile than on the guitar one, which is we find fits 95% of tenor guitars, archtop tenor guitars. This is a proper setting on this here. Okay, so once we've got that, we've got our base, we've got our adjusters in, and we've got our saddles removed. The next thing we do is we take this is a pickguard material that is used for acoustic guitars. Comes in sheets, like 12 by 10 sheets, for making peel and stick pickguards. It's got the 3M adhesive on the back. We take this here, and we do a lot in tortoise. Now you can buy these pickguard sheets in all different colors. We basically use black and we use the tortoise shell, but we take this here and it sticks very well. We stick that over the ends to cover up the 2 holes left by the number 1 and the number 6 saddle. And that here. And we'll put that on there, and then you could take a good, clean, sharp pair of scissors and you could also file this with the nail file. Once you've done this, get this nice and close so there's nothing overhanging that's going to catch your finger, and pull it off. And you can take a nail file on an angle and clean up that curve. This still has the plastic coating on it, so it may look a little fuzzy, but that's basically what we do. So that's your 4-string Tune-o-matic Nashville style. And now your posts are a little longer usually than your thing, so what we do is we drill out the tops of our covers, they fit on there. Later on, if you got your thing on your guitar and you find these posts are sticking out and you don't need that much post, you can always cut the post down. But that's basically what you're going to get. Again, this is a Nashville, which we like a lot better than the older style that had the spring on it. And you got your 4 adjusters. It stops you from getting any vibration from off of these saddles. It's a much better system on the Nashville than the older style. Now, I've noticed we bought these last winter. We bought to 24. We still have a bunch left. We only make about 3 to 6 arch tops a year, so I have enough to last me for the next 2-3 years. But they finally caught up. They have the Nashville ones. They're about $35–40 that don't have the notched saddles. Well, this fits, again, 95% of tenor guitars, vintage ones. This is perfectly fine for them. If you have an oddball guitar where you need it less or more, or you want to do an 8-string, make your own notches and spaces, like a mandocello, you want a little more space on your lower strings, allow for vibration. You can now buy these without the notches, which is a nice feature. But we probably won't be getting into those until we run out of what we've got here. Again, this is just showing you an 8-string on this here. Again, this is the Nashville. Did this with a mirrored end, and again, this has as you can see in here, this has the springs that hold the saddles in place. Now, we couldn't find any 12-string Nashville bridges, so actually what we did here was we took a regular 6-string Nashville and we bought the old style Tune-o-matic that was for a 12-string, like this here with the bar on it, and we took out the saddles and we put the saddles into the Nashville base. I think we had to do a little bit of filing and sanding, but it will work. Okay, and I think that's about it. Again, this is Mike Soares at Soares'y Tenor Guitars, and this is our new way that we're making our tenor guitar adjustable Tune-o-matic bridges for our tenor guitars. If this helps, thank you.